We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 152. Today we're going to talk about my week in poker, the up-and-coming NFL season that starts this Thursday, mine and Phil's sports podcast, politics, whatever y'all want to talk about. The Mouthpiece is next. What up, what up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 152. Alrighty, the football season is officially underway. NFL starts Thursday. I didn't watch any college football yesterday. If I knew the USC LSU game was in Vegas, I would have gone to it. I bet Phil 500. I took USC plus 4. But yeah, that's about it. Things are pretty good. I went and got MRI last week on Thursday, and I'm waiting for results for that. Still dealing with a lot of knee pain. I've done something that I never really thought I'd ever do, which, well, I've always dieted and lost weight many times, but because of my injury and not being able to work out, I have to eat right. So I ordered a meal plan from this guy that my best friend Ben orders from, and it's 3 meals a day, 1 protein shake a day, and 1 protein bar a day. And hopefully in 3 months I'll lose 25 pounds, get down to about 195, which is my goal. I'm up to, I was like 215 at the end of the series, 214, and then I put on like 8 pounds. I'm down to like 221, whatever. And so I just didn't like the way I looked. I know it's not a big deal, but you know, when you lose all that weight and you put it back on because you eat like shit, it kind of bothers you. So I'm eating a meal plan 3 times a day. It's been, let's see, 5 days now. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I mean, some of the meals are good, some of them are a little bit bland, and but I force myself. I eat it all. I do exactly what I'm supposed to do, and you know me. If I could quit, if I can spend 10 weeks and get off opioids, I could spend 12 to 14 weeks eating perfect and lose 25 pounds, and then now after that, will I maintain it? Yes, but I'll order meals, like, instead of 3 times a day, maybe twice a day and whatever. But I want to eat well. And there's a few things that got me to do this. One of the things was, A, I didn't like the way I looked. B, I know that because of my injury and because I can't work out, that I have to eat well to look good. And I'm working on myself, I'm trying to become a better person, trying to look good. I got to find a way to meet somebody and settle down, so I want to look good. And you can't really love anybody till you love yourself. So I like myself, but I'm not so sure I love myself, but I'm working on it. So I'm doing that, and I've been struggling to get motivated. So me and my psychiatrist were talking, and we decided to try something different, because like the Adderall just never worked well for me. It would be few good days, few bad days, manic many a times, had a lot of bad med days during the series. So she decided to try and put me on Vyvanse. Now, I had tried Vyvanse about 7 years ago, but the dumb doctor gave me 70 milligrams to start, and I had the worst headache imaginable. And she's like, no, you got to start at 30 and work your way up. So I've been on Vyvanse for 2 days, yesterday and today. And yesterday, as soon as I took it, got motivated, played poker all night. I won 4,600, but I I accidentally folded a 22,000. I would have won 22,000 in a pot. It was the board came 6-3-4 flop. Player let out. I called. Small blind called. Turn card come a 6. It gets checked around. Oh, it came 2 spades on the flop. I had ace 10 of spades. And then the river comes a jack of spades. Small blind leads out for 840. The big blind calls 840. I make it 2,400, and he jams for 22,000. So 19,000 more. Now, I hit the timer just to make sure to run the hand through my head. And the way he plays, there's no way he could have a full house. It's impossible. But as I hit the extension on the timer, I hit it and it wouldn't extend it, and it says it's clocking down, and then I go and I push the forward to hit call, and it times me out, and he shows me a bluff, which it doesn't matter. It was like I knew he didn't have it, so I get timed out of winning 22,000 yesterday, and I wanted to. I mean, you could say I was tilted. I mean, but I don't tilt, so I went from being up, I lose in the pot 24 plus 8, 32. I lose 3,400 in the pot instead of win 22,000. This is a 25K, just timeout. And now I was down like 2K, but I played really good and ended up winning like 4,600. But it's like I don't tilt. That's so funny. They were trying to tilt me so bad over it too, and so, I mean, yeah, it bothers me. I mean, it's 22,000, never going to get back. I mean, like, yeah, you'll get it back, but it's 22,000, and so, and the game wasn't playing that big, so I would have booked a 20-something thousand win on my first day back in the big game. It would have been nice. So, yeah, I decided to sell a big piece of myself in the big game, so because it does play big, and this way it allows me to pull the to empty the clip a little bit more and pull the trigger a little bit more, when I'm not having to worry about winning or losing 30,000. I mean, I've got plenty of money, but you could lose somebody loses 100 in the game every day. So like somebody lost 101 yesterday. The day before someone lost 100. So it's like, will I ever lose 100? No. But I mean, I could lose 50 3-4 days in a row and could really hurt me. So I just don't want to put myself in that spot. It's not my it's just something I don't need to do. So I'm just trying to be smart, trying to be smart with what I've learned from the past of my mistakes. So anyways, that's poker for the week. I played the small game. I was down 12K. I end up only losing 2,700 that day. Then I won like 126 the next day. I'm down like 2,600 in the small game, up 4,600 in the big game. But I'm going to really start playing a lot of poker. Let's see. What else is going on? Wow, USC second and goal from the 25. They just keep going backwards. But, there's a big play. He's going to go all the way. Look at this. Down to the 4-yard line. And so you're going to see me playing a lot. Now, I am probably going to Chicago September 13th for the week. Let's see, that'd be like, what's today? Today's September 1st. So 2nd, 9th. So yeah. So I'm probably gonna go see my friends in Wisconsin, then go to Chicago for the weekend of that week. We're gonna play a big poker game over there, so I'm gonna be doing that. I have the RJC poker tournament on the 4th, so that's what's that, Wednesday? Wednesday. So that's a charity poker tournament that I'm doing for the Republican Jewish Coalition. It's their big event, and it's to help raise money. And so I'm doing that on Wednesday. Let's see what else is going on. Kind of a little bit upset now. I was supposed to go to the event on Thursday and Friday also, but fucking Orange Man decided that he's not going to be here, and it really upset me, and it really upset my ex-girlfriend Jerry, who was still one of my best friends, because it's just it's ridiculous, like with what's going on with all the hostages. 6 getting killed yesterday, found murdered. They were killed 48 hours earlier, and everything's going on in Israel. This is like the RJ, the Jewish Republican Jewish Coalition's big event every year, and Trump's been there every year for I don't even know how many years. And so the fact that he's going to be the keynote speaker from a video Zoom kind of upsets me. I think that he could have found time to come, and it really upset my ex-girlfriend Jerry. She doesn't even want to vote for him anymore, but we have to, of course. So it's a little bit of a letdown. But I'm gonna do the poker tournament on Wednesday with them. Let's see what's going on. Let's talk about NFL totals. I don't know if you guys know that I started a podcast called the We Win Podcast. Is that correct?
We Win Sports Podcast.
We Win Sports Podcast.
I have a clip.
You have a clip you could play?
Yeah.
Okay, play
You
it.
talk about it a little bit first.
Okay, Danny will play a clip for us. And what it is Phil could have done a podcast with me, and we would have had like 10 million followers like 5 years ago, and he doesn't want to do it. But now that he sees, like, he watches his buddies with the All In podcast and how big it's become, now he thinks he's got some dream that our podcast could be that big. But Phil's pretty good with those things. So Phil's good at marketing. So I like it. You want to put a link to the podcast in the chat, buddy?
Sure.
Okay. And so the thing is I'm still going to be giving out my pick of the week on Friday night or Saturday night. First and second best pick. And I got in a fight with Phil and the guys because they want to record the podcast on a Tuesday, and I'm like, nobody picks an NFL game on a Tuesday. I'm like, if we are going to be serious and we want it to become big, we have to pick winners, and to pick winners you have to do the podcast on Thursday and put it out on Friday. And Danny said he could. Danny's the one that's doing all the editing, and so he says he could, if we do it on Thursday, he could have it out Thursday night or Friday, and which is what we need to do. You got to know who practiced all week. You know what I mean? You have to know injuries. You have to know. You just can't just pick on Tuesday. And I quoted Phil. I quoted Phil. I'm like, you ever seen the movie Two for the Money? You guys have seen the movie Two for the Money, where the guy, where Matthew McConaughey was fed up. He was picking losers, and on Tuesday he just goes down the sheet and picks them all, and he goes like 1 in 14, and they says that's what happens when you pick games on Tuesday when you don't even know what quarterback's going to play, or whoever's going to play. So yeah, we got in a fight about it. So we just released our first episode like yesterday, Brandon Barry. So chill out, buddy. So I'm going to try and talk them into doing it on Thursday night and having it out on Friday. And so my NFL totals are out on the podcast, and I kind of agree. I mean, we kind of used everybody put out like their two best picks, but I'm going to go with the podcast two best picks now. But I'm also going to go with my best pick too. So my best pick is Miami over 9.5. And the podcast, all of us consensus best pick is the Ravens over 10.5, which I really like also, but it's not my best pick. My best pick's Miami over, and my second best pick, my best pick in the AFC is Miami over 9.5, Pittsburgh under 8.5. I watch Russell Wilson in preseason. That team ain't winning 9 games in that division. I don't want to hear, well, Tomlin's had a winning record every single year. Yeah, he won 10 games last year. They had the easiest schedule in the whole conference. They lost. They were terrible. So, yeah, Pittsburgh unders mine. I really like too. So, Pittsburgh unders and Miami over are my two best plays in the AFC. My two best plays in the NFC are Detroit over 10.5, which I think Detroit is winning the Super Bowl this year and will be in the Super Bowl, and Arizona over 7. And Arizona over 7 might be my best play of all of them. They play a pretty easy schedule. They beefed up got better on the defense. They got better on the offense. Kyler played great. They were in every game against all the good teams at the end of the year, and they still won 5 games last year. And their over-under was 4.5. So to think that they won't win at minimum of 2 more, I just love Arizona. I think that they're Arizona over 7, Miami over 9.5 are my two best plays. And then Detroit and over, and the Ravens over are my next two best plays. Now, I'm going to bet, because I only bet like $2K on my best pick and $1,000 on my second best pick all year. I'm going to probably bet $10,000 on all 4 of those totals, and then sweat them out the rest of the year. Now, there are some contrarian plays on there on the podcast that some people pick. I mean, Cantu's of Seattle homer. He thinks Seattle's going over 7.5. I laughed in his face. There's no way. And then Woodley, he's a Minnesota homer. He thinks it's it's minus 120. It's minus 120 over 7, correct? Yeah, he thinks Minnesota's going over 7.5. I laughed in his face. No, Arizona's minus 120 on the over 7. Right? You could go over 7 and lay 120. I know that for sure. So, anyways, those are my picks. What was Phil's pick? Other pick? Oh, they like the Bears under. I like the Bears over. I think they're nuts. The Bears total is what? 8.5, 9? I think it's, what's the Bears total? 9? 8.5? I like the Bears over. I think the Bears were fucked. They won 7 last year. I had over 7.5. They gave away 4 games. They should have been an 11-win team. And, they gave away games that they were like 99% to win. So they like it under. I like it over. What happened to my fucking game here? Hold on. It's 9 now. You can still get 8.5 in late juice on the over, I'm pretty sure. But those aren't the ones I'm betting. If you put a gun to my head, I like the Bears over. I think the Bears, Green Bay, and Detroit are really good. That's probably the toughest division in football. Brandon's other pick was the Texans over 9.5. I don't like it at all. Here's another one I kind of like. Jacksonville, like over 8. Like, this team was 6-2 last year and was rolling until Lawrence hurt his shoulder. And then they lost, what'd they go, 1-8 the rest of the way? You know what I'm saying? I like the Bills under. Oh, yeah, Woodley went with the Jets under. I like that too. And all those, you can't bet them all, right? So it's like Bills under, Jets under. Which one has to, the Patriots stink. One's got to go over. And I think the Dolphins are for real. Yeah, okay, they won all the games against bad teams last year. Okay, you could say that, right? But they were decimated by injuries at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? And that team's got weapons everywhere. I don't know. The Jets winning 10 games. Really? You really think that if you go under 10, you really think the Jets are winning 11? 11-6? No fucking way, dude. So, yeah, but maybe they will lose in the first round, but they've improved the defense. They've improved. They were. You got to remember that defense. They lost everybody in the last 4 games of the year. So, they had a great defense till the whole defense went out. They lost their top 6 defensive players. I don't know. I like Miami over. I just do. And that's with me saying the Jets are going under and the Bills are going under. And if the Bills go and Jets go over, I lose my Miami bet. That's all. I'm making 4 plays. You guys could take whatever you want with it. I'm pretty smart. I don't like the Niners over at all. I think the Niners are going to regress a little bit. I don't know if the Rams improved their defense at all, but the Rams were great at the end of the year. But they lost Darnold. That's a big, not Darnold, but Donald. That's a big loss. There's a lot of things. If you really want to put a gun to my head, I like Carolina over 5.5 this year. I think year 2, the kid is not, Bryce Young is not that bad. Okay, they've improved the offensive line. They got him some weapons. The division is really, really weak. I kind of like that. And you know what you guys should also look at? This is a fact, okay? And I haven't really looked at it yet, but in the last 5 years, the teams with the top 5 easiest schedule have all gone over the total, and the teams with the top 5 hardest schedule, 4 of the 5 have gone under the totals the last 3 years. So I haven't looked at that yet, but I'm going to look at it. Matter of fact, let's pull this up. See if we can find toughest or strength of schedule. Anybody have strength of schedule? Let's see. NFL 2024 teams toughest and easiest schedule. Let's see what we got here, because that's a pretty big. Okay, so this is another reason why I like the Pittsburgh under. Toughest schedule: Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore. The Vikings are expected to have the toughest schedule. That's why I don't know how he thinks the Vikings are going to win 8 games. It just ain't happening. The Steelers play a league high 10 games against tiers 1 and 2. Easiest schedules: Atlanta, the Bears. Wow, the Bears have another easy schedule, huh? I'm telling you, the Bears are going over, man. They're crazy. They like them under. The Chargers. Now, the Chargers were a pick by us on the show. Was Phil's second pick, I think, over 8.5. The Saints, the Jets. Okay. Well, I expect the Ravens to have a tough schedule, but I still think they're going over 10.5. They won 13 last year. And the division is, I mean, is the division better? I mean, they get Watson back, but he's been a bum. Cleveland. Cleveland's got the second toughest schedule. Cincinnati, their offense is going to be amazing, but if they're here's the thing, that defense regressed big time last year. Now we could say it's because, Burrow was out. When they were fucking 4-4 when Burrow went out. So half the season was over, and their defense looked terrible in every game. So Phil has no idea what he's doing in sports. I'm actually smart and sharp. My problem is I used to lose all my money because I told you this a million times. So I was a DGen. That's why I don't bet it. That's why I don't bet anymore, because I just think, your ego gets to you and then you tilt, and I just can't do it. So it'll never happen. I bet my first and second picks for peanuts, and that's it. So let's see. NFL strength of schedule listed from hardest to weakest. Here it is, right here. All right. Let me pull this up. All 32 teams. This is what we want. NFL strength of schedule listed from hardest to weakest. Browns have the hardest. Now I know why. Okay, so that makes sense. That's why people on our podcast like the Browns under. Ravens second toughest. Steelers third toughest. Packers fourth toughest. Texans fifth toughest. Interesting. Now remember what I told you. 4 of the 5 toughest schedules have gone under the totals the last 3 years. I'm telling you right now, this Texans 9.5 that Cantu liked over, I kind of really like it under. I could see the Packers going under. That's a very tough division. And we really like the Ravens over 10.5, even with their tough schedule. I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at the schedule. I mean, that's what our consensus was, but I'm not sold on it completely. But they're a good team. Let's see. Bills have the 6th toughest schedule. So the Bills have the 6th toughest schedule. Their over/under's 10.5. I mean, they got to 11 last year. That was their number. They had to run the gauntlet and win 5 in a row to do it. The Jaguars 8th toughest. Wow. The Raiders 9th. Patriots 8th. Why the Patriots have such a tough? Well, yeah, they're in that division with 3 juggernauts. It makes sense. The Lions 11th toughest. I'm telling you, the Lions are the overs is the nuts. But see, now here we're going down here. Jets are 12, Rams 12, 49ers 12, Bengals 16th, Chiefs 16th. It's amazing. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl every year, and they never even play a top five tough schedule. I mean, they're tied for 16th. I mean, I think the Chiefs are fucking going. I mean, I don't know. It'll be the Chiefs and the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I really think so. Vikings 16th, Commanders 16th, Broncos 20th. Their over/under is 5.5. I think somebody liked the Broncos over. I don't. Colts 21, Eagles 21, Titans 21, and here my Cardinals have the 24th easiest schedule. So they're tied for the 4th easiest schedule in the league. I mean, I really love Arizona over 7. I really love it. Dolphins tied for 24th. Also the 4th easiest schedule in the league. I mean, these are my picks before I even looked at them. Seahawks 24th, Chargers 27th, Buccaneers 27th, Panthers 29th, Bears 29th, Falcons 31st, Saints 31st. Okay, so again, that kind of plays into my Bears over. They liked it under. I don't. My Panthers over 5.5. I mean, they got the 2nd easiest schedule in the NFL. I mean, the Chargers. They really don't. They really have no defense. I don't know. I mean, the offense will be better, but yeah. So, I look at these and I like my picks even more. I told you my 2 best picks are the Cardinals over 7, and Dolphins over 9.5. They both have the 4th easiest schedule. My other 2 picks were Detroit over 10.5 and Pittsburgh under. Okay, Pittsburgh under might go up. I mean, they have the 3rd toughest schedule. They ain't winning no 9 games with that schedule. So, and Detroit, I mean, they have the 11th toughest schedule, and they're the best team. So I kind of like all 4 of mine. I'm going to bet 10,000 on all 4 of mine, and that'll be my action for the year. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So, anyways, you can play the clip. All right, play the clip for our viewers.
The clip is from when Cantu said that the Lions at San Francisco would be a loss.
Oh.
You think at San Francisco's a loss? They went into San Francisco last year, had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and they fucking gave the game away. You don't think they're going to be pumped up as fuck to fucking get revenge there? Are you insane? That's going to. They have that game circled. That game circled before the fucking year started. They're like San Francisco. We're going in there. Fuck them up. We're going to fucking destroy them this time. We ain't letting them back in the game this year.
Okay, it's not playing the audio. Yeah. So based on schedule, right? Like the Steelers under, like they have the 3rd toughest schedule. Woodley likes the Browns under. They have the toughest schedule. So I definitely see it. The Texans have the 4th toughest schedule. I don't think they get to 10. I mean, the quarterback was so good last year, but if you go look at all the games he won, they were against really bad teams. All the teams that had a good defense, he struggled mightily. And so I think he's getting way too much respect. And they're like, well, he's got Stephon Diggs. Well, Stephon Diggs couldn't even get open for Josh Allen the last 6 games of the year. I think he had 1 touchdown. I mean, they got The one
You
guy.
think
back.
at San Francisco's a
broke his
loss?
leg,
They went into
and,
San Francisco last year, had a chance to go to the
don't-
Super
don't-
Bowl,
don't put up
and they
points,
fucking gave the game away.
I
You
don't
don't
know.
think they're going to
10
be
games,
pumped up as fuck
tough
to fucking
division.
get revenge there? Are you insane? That's going to. They have
You
that
guys
big
say
circle.
strength of
That big
schedule is
circle
overrated,
before the fucking year
but
started.
like I
They're
said-
like,
Okay,
they're like
4
San
of the
Francisco,
top
we're going in
5
there.
toughest
We're gonna fuck
schedules
them
last
up.
year
We're going to
all
fucking
went
destroy
under.
them this time. We ain't letting
Of
them
the
back in the game
5
this year.
easiest schedules last year, all 5 went over, or 4 of the 5 went over. So, and that's happened, by the way, if you look back the last 5 years, the teams with the easiest schedule, like 80% have gone over. And the teams with the toughest schedule, like 80% have gone under. So you can't, that's just a fact. I mean, you could look it up. There's data on this. I looked at it, I saw this last year, I was shocked. Anyways, all right, so that's NFL. I think kickoff is Thursday. The Ravens at Kansas City. Is that correct? Should be an interesting game. I don't know what the line is, nor do I care. I have this little nugget that the last 4 teams that beat the team that won the Super Bowl and played the team they beat in the championship game the following season, the team that won the Super Bowl is 4-0. That's all I know. Now, I don't know. I think Kansas City might struggle early in the year, but I think, listen, I went against them every fucking year for 3 straight years. This team had no offense last year. None. They had like 40 yards of offense in the second half 50 yards of offense in the second half last year. Against the Ravens. I mean, what did they have against? They had 3 points on offense against the San Francisco, and I mean, they didn't even. Their only touchdown against Frisco was when the guy kicked the ball off of his foot, so get him first and goal at the 7. That was it, and then the one in overtime. So their offense was terrible, but now they got receivers, and this guy Xavier. What's his name? Whatever his name is, the guy from Texas. Motherfucker's as fast as fucking Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, if he could catch the ball, I promise you that Mahomes will throw it to him. And Hollywood Brown is pretty solid. Number 2, they're gonna be able to fucking put up points this year, and they got the best defense. So. I ain't going against Kansas City. The only thing is nobody's ever won 3 in a row. And, I mean, they look at the breaks they had to have to win the Super Bowl the last 2 years. They needed the fumble with the Philadelphia the year before, right? The punt return to even get to overtime to beat Cincinnati the year before, because the dumbass coach doesn't just kick the ball out of bounds and the game's over and they don't even get to the Super Bowl. The ridiculous start where Baltimore didn't even show up last year in the first half, and then Flowers fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line. I mean, after the first 2 drives of the game where they were up 14-0, they scored 3 points the rest of the game. And I mean, they've had the lightning ball that had to happen, like the punt that goes off the guy's foot, or Frisco beats them. So they've hit lightning in a bottle the last 2 years with a team that wasn't a Super Bowl team. Now they got receivers, and I don't know, man. They're going to be tough. All right. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. Didn't really talk about any politics this week. I just know that CF's fucking interview was an atrocity. I mean, it was 41 minutes. They had to fucking cut it to 18 minutes because she's so bad. And the 18 minutes was so bad. she was like looking down. I think she was looking at notes, because just remember this, people that can't look you in the eye are bad people. Okay, she couldn't even look the interviewer in the eye. It was so bad. I don't even want to go there. It's going to get nastier and nastier as the gets closer to elections. Yeah, whatever. You watch your stupid media, and your media tell you, oh, Trump politicized at Arlington Cemetery. Meanwhile, all 13 of the people whose parents died, whose kids died, came out with a video that they invited Trump to Arlington Cemetery, and that Kamala or Biden never called them once. There you go. So you can listen to the media, or you can listen to the parents of the people who were fucking killed. I'll listen to the parents of the people who were killed. Well, she wants to back out. So she insisted on September 10th, and because this is what all the rules, we got to go with September 10th on ABC. So Trump agrees, and now she wants to change the rules because she's so stupid. There's no way for 90 minutes without notes, with the microphones off, that she will not sound like the dumb, uneducated person that she is. That's all. You know, you guys, let me explain something to you. I have a very close friend of mine, right? A very close friend of mine, and a very, very famous poker player. And he said this to me: I hate Trump, but I'm not voting for Trump. You're voting. You're not. You don't have to be pro-Trump to vote for Trump. But with the censorship that the Democrats are putting on, and we know this from the Twitter files, okay, that they censor. We know this from Mark Zuckerberg coming out that he was forced to censor all this stuff before the election. So basically, they cheated to steal the election by using illegal censorship on American citizens. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, okay? It doesn't matter what you are. You're fucking pro-speech, free speech, or against it, okay? That's it. Elon Musk has said straight out, you think that this guy's stupid? Okay, you see what's going on in Brazil. You see what's going on in France and Europe. They are arresting people for Facebook posts. They have took X off of the platform in Brazil with the elections coming up because they're censoring speech for political gain. How could you possibly... Okay, Barry, you get $10,000 and you give me a fucking $100, $100 to $10,000. If you could find anywhere you could find Trump being a rapist, $100 you send me, or I send you 10,000. How's that? Say deal. How could you lose? Exactly. So don't make up shit. Okay? So it's not about Trump. Everything they're running on freedom and a path forward, all the bullshit talking points to make you feel good. That's what the Democrats do. They make you feel good. Okay? But they're not doing anything to help you. And that's the bottom line. Trump might make you feel like shit. It makes me feel like shit, the things he says. But the policies that he going to push forward are going to make your life better. My life's going to be good no matter what. But people who make under $50,000 a year, their life is who I care about. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Kamala's whole entire campaign is vibes, vibes, vibes. Joy. You know the last person that used joy during a political campaign? I bet Barry doesn't know. 1933, the Nazi Party. They used joy to get elected. That was their talking point. You have to understand, this is not the Democrat Party of Clinton This is not even the Democrat Party of Obama. These people have lost their minds. They're fucking so far left. Their policies are insane. And it's not about Trump. Okay, Trump's going to be there for 4 years. He's going to be worthless, probably. But the bottom line is they have to stop the censorship. And I don't care about Trump's lies. It doesn't matter. I keep telling you, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting against the Democrats. Okay? Everything that they stand for in this country right now is awful. Everything they say is just bullshit. They give you fluff talking points. You know, I told you elder abuse. Yeah, I told you what they did to Biden for fucking 4 years. Oh, what did you tell me, Barry? Oh, it's stop pushing right-wing talking points. There's nothing wrong with Biden. Then the whole world had to see it. Okay, the whole world had to see what we've known for 5 years. You know. Anyways, same with their bipartisan border bill. They let 10 million fucking illegals cross, 2.5 million for 4 straight years. Then they decided, because the election's coming up, this is in March, they're going to push a bipartisan border bill. By the way, the bipartisan border bill gave $60 billion to Ukraine, another it gave like $15 million to the border, and like $400 billion to other bullshit, and it still allowed 5,000 illegals per day to come in. So, like, stop with the fucking talking points. Do your homework. Anyways, so I really don't care. I'm not a Trump fan. I think that, like, he's just the election's locked up, and he's trying his hardest to find a way to lose it. You know, and again, you have to understand that what's going on in the world. Okay, you have to be aware of the censorship, the Twitter files, the Mark Zuckerberg coming out admitting what he did. Okay, which now the Biden versus Missouri case, I don't know if you know what that is. It's a big lawsuit against the Biden administration for censoring American citizens. Not that with Facebook coming out, with Zuckerberg coming out and saying that's going to really enhance the people's case against them. So again, that's I mean, you see what's going on around the world. I mean, if you like a Facebook post that is against the regime, they could come to your house and arrest you. They just arrested this like 66-year-old man and put him in jail for 20 months for reposting a Facebook post. I mean, do you want to live in that kind of world? If you don't think it's coming here, it is, because they've already been caught censoring. They've got him. Zuckerberg admitted it. The fucking Twitter files proved it. I mean, is this what you guys want? You want your speech to be censored? I want Democrats and all my friends and Democrats here to be able to say whatever they want to me, and vice versa. You know how many? I almost had my channel canceled twice because I talked about the election. Okay? You heard what Bill Maher said this week. He says that if you want to believe that the election was, I can't even use the word because I don't want to get a strike, then you should be able to believe that. You should be able to say whatever you want. Hillary, Stacey Abrams, Jeffrey, they all said Russia, 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 and Trump was an illegitimate president for 3 years, and they said that he was an illegitimate. So, but that didn't count. But when the other side said it, arrest them all. I mean, come on, guys. You just got to understand what's going on. Anyways, let's take some phone calls and see what you guys want to talk about this week. And we are going to be on next Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure. We're going to go over all of my NFL picks, my top pick of the week, my second best pick of the week. You've got my over-unders, the 4 that I am betting. Arizona over 7. Detroit over 10.5, Miami over 9.5, and Pittsburgh under. So good luck to us there. Let's take some phone calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give me a call. What do you want to talk about this week? Talk about poker. I'm going to be playing a lot of poker here in the next few months. We talk about the NFL coming up. We could talk about politics if you want. I really don't want to, but we sometimes you just have to. I don't know if you guys did see that Nicole Shanahan video she put out called Independence, called How the World Suffers from Trump Derangement Syndrome. It's pretty funny. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. It's Mike.
Oh, what's up, Mikey? It's Gypsy Frank.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Fucking grinding online, wondering why I fucking do this to myself.
I did that all night last night, and I timed out, and it cost me $22,000.
Yeah, I heard that. That's pretty fucking annoying. What are you playing on that PP app?
I just hit the timer, and it was clicking down. I hit it again, and then I wouldn't fucking... And then by the time I clicked call, it timed me out. Like, there was no way I was ever folding. I should have just fucking snap called. Because, like, he just never has a full house. Never. But
I hear you. That's happened to me before on that app before, too, if you're playing on that Poker 2 or whatever.
Yeah. But I just wanted to take an extra, like, 5 seconds to run the hand back through my mind if there's any chance he could have it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get it. And so I was 99% calling, and it times me out, and it's just like, and then one of the guys on the rail was just nonstop needling, and I sat out. I said, "You guys can needle me all you want. Like, I don't need to take it from the rail." So he sat down so I could mute him, right? And it's like, 'cause it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't, it's bad enough. Like, I got fucked. You know what I mean? Like, I was never folding. I'm telling you right now, I was never folding. And it's okay. Like I'm not. I was like it's blood. It's blood now. Okay.
Does he just make that play there because you're representing the flush there, and he thinks that you're tight enough to where you can't call without. Yeah, but
the reason why you can't have me beat is I have all the pocket jacks, right? I raised pre-flop. It came 3, 4, 6, right, with 2 spades. The second guy who called my bet, right? He bets out. I call, and the other guy just calls. The other guy who calls, he's the one that made the play, right? And so he can't just call. The board's 3, 4, 6 with 2 spades, and when I call, it looks like I got an overpair. Okay, like I'm never calling ace king on a 3, 4, 6 board, right? When a guy leads out, just take it. I lose my $140. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, and now overcall. Now the turn card comes to 6, right? And it goes check, check, check. Okay.
So 3, 4, 6, turn 6, checked around.
Checked around. Okay. Now the river card comes to jack of spades, and now the small blind
leads to flush.
Leads out for 847. The other guy, who had 3, 4 of spades, he had maybe it came deuce 4, 6, whatever, but he made a 4 high flush. He calls, right? And I make it 2,400, and he rips it for 19,000 more. Like he just never can have it. He can't have it. Okay, like he's never going to just overcall the flop with 2 pair or a set, right? And I have all the pocket jacks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. So the sizing is pretty fucking weird too. To take it from 8 to 24, then to 22K, it's like
I knew he didn't have it, dude, and it was just it was a ridiculous bluff. But I just needed to take an extra few seconds because I'm not like these guys. They just snap 20,000 balls like they're quarters. You know what I'm saying?
And you have another player behind you in the hand too. So, oh no, but he folded before he got to you.
He called the bet. It was 3 of us on the flop. So on the river, it went bet 847, call 847. I make it 2,400. He moves all in 19,000. He folds the 4 high flush, and I was calling, and it timed me out. You know?
Yeah, that's annoying as fuck.
Honestly, I'm a little bit upset. Like, I think he should at least give me the 2,400 back because I was calling. Yeah. So, but that's okay. Now it's just war. It's just fucking no. I'm telling you, the game plays big, so I sold a pretty big chunk of myself because I want to be able to fucking take every fucking spot from now on. Every fucking spot. No more fucking...
What is that, the 5, 10, 25 game you're playing? Or what did you say it was?
It was actually 15, 30, 60 last night.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Is there a VPIP like mandatory in that game or no?
No.
Okay.
No. And so...
That makes a difference, I guess. You could play super nitty if you want to.
Yeah, but I'm going to start taking the spots. Like raise, call. I'm going to start 3 fucking betting. I'm going to take all the I'm going to 3-bet all the weak players. I'm going to fucking start really, really playing differently. You know, I'm going to use my skills. I'm not going to play. I played weak tight in the game for fucking 3 years because I didn't want to beat the game for a lot of money. But now there's not that many fishes in the game, and the game's a little bit tougher. And I'm gonna fucking. I want blood.
Yeah, fuck that. What's the point in playing in a game if you're not trying to fucking reap it?
Right. Like, I could have raped it the last 3 years and made another $1 million, but I didn't because I wanted to stay in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. You're worried about getting booted.
Oh, I would have been booted for sure. Like, nobody could have won the money I've won and not been booted. You know what I'm saying? But
that's understandable then.
So I've kept the wins down, but I mean, now the thing is, I'm willing to swing more and make a lot more big bluffs because I sold a big chunk of myself in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it takes that pressure off.
It takes all the pressure off.
Huge.
You know, it's okay. Like for the next 6 months, you know, if I may, I sold a really a bigger chunk than I really wanted to, because I don't believe I could lose. Like, I believe that, like, I could just play it and they probably won't break me, right? But So
if you're playing 15, 30, 60, and does that run, you know, like consistently, or does
it's a 10, 20, 40 game, like 3 days a week, and 15, 30, 60, 3 days a week. You know.
What are you buying in for?
Minimum is 12, so I buy in for 12, and maximum is 60, and they buy in for like 30. All of them want to play super deep so they can play more pots, play lots of pots. But you know,
man, that's a big fucking game then.
Well, somebody loses 100 every night, okay, and so you know, I listen, I sold almost half of myself. You know, but
I don't blame you on that spot because, I mean, even if you have a couple $100,000 put to the side for that game, that's not really enough realistically.
And I've got like 3, but that's like I could easily lose 50 a day for 4 straight days. It's easily.
Exactly.
And I can't put myself in that spot. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, so I this way I could feel comfortable. I could pull triggers. I mean, I tried to steal 9 pots yesterday. I stole 8, so I was playing well. The only thing I did wrong is time out on the one hand, you know. So
yeah, that shit happens.
And in the smaller game, the 3-6-12 PLO game I play in, I don't know how, but I was down $12,000, and I used to laugh at all these guys that lose like $12,000 in the game. Like, I'm like, how could you lose $10,000 in this game, right? The game was playing so crazy. I then won 5 of the next 6 pots and was only down 3,500. Like, I won like 8,500 in one orbit. And I know
I fucking get it. I played in the so I joined a new club lately, and I'm playing in a 1-2 game. But it's 150 big blinds max buy-in, so 300 max, and I think it's like 100 minimal, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that range. But to put it in perspective, there were 2 stacks that were 3,000 big blinds, and then 2 other stacks with 1,000 big blinds. So the game is fucking ridiculous. Like, I lost 4,000 in one session playing 1-2 because it's playing bingo, basically.
Dude, you can't lose 4,000 playing 1-2 PLO.
You could say that, but when it's literally 5-bet 5-handed to a flop, and I'm getting it in with double suited rundowns or single suited aces.
You just play nitty, dude. You play fucking. You if it's 5 bets with like 5 ways, like you don't even play. You just fold bad aces, unless they're double suited aces or ace king queen or something like that.
I can't fucking bring myself to fold aces pre in that spot.
Well, there you go. That's why you lost 4,000 in a 1-2 game. I mean,
I guess so.
I mean, dude, what do you think you're going to win with aces 5-handed? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, you play good aces or you play fucking 4-card wraps. That's it. 8, 9, 10 jack, 8, 9, 10 queen, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or fucking
I stopped getting it in. Like I got it in with like a 4, 5, 6, 7 double suited.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7 is terrible. Like 3, 4, 5, 6. You never play. You never play 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think 7 is the lowest bottom card.
7. I think that 8, 7, 6, 5 is the lowest. Like because like the 7, 6, 5, 4, you're always going to be at the dummy end of the straight most of the time.
Exactly.
And so. What did I tell you last week? I think you're playing too many hands. I'll stick with that thought right now. I mean,
it's tough too because there's a 35% VPIP minimum on the table, and you have 50 hands to establish that VPIP, and it boosts you automatically. So that creates a weird dynamic.
Okay,
also.
well VPIP. Okay, you could limp for $2. Okay, that keeps your VPIP.
I do that sometimes.
What do you mean? That's it. To keep your VPIP to 35%, all you have to do is just limp for $2 and fold. You can limp any four. You can limp $2, $2. Think about what I'm saying, man.
That's true. I do that, to try to balance my VPIP out so I don't get booted. But there's a tilt factor that comes with that too because
you're a tilter. You admitted that last week. You fix your tilt factor or quit poker.
That's what
I got fucked out of a $22,000 pot. They were nonstop fucking needling me, trying to get me to go on tilt. Right. I didn't give away a chip. I won fucking 5. I won 7,000 straight. Dude, nobody can get fucked. They can't tilt me. Nobody can tilt me. Dude, I've been around for 28 fucking years. You think they can fucking tilt me? I mean, come on. Man.
That's ridiculous. Like, I'm really considering quitting because I'm fucking 33 years old. I got 3 kids. I got fucking $12,000 a month overhead and income, and bills and shit. I got a business. I make $150,000, $200,000 a year, but I've been neglecting the fuck out of it.
Well, dude, your priorities are way fucked up, dude.
No shit, exactly.
Dude, if you have a business that makes $150,000 to $200,000 a fucking year, that business you should be working on making that business make between $200,000 and $400,000 a year and building it.
I neglected the fuck out of it.
Okay,
so
well, I'm telling you right now, give up with the fucking poker. Work on your fucking business for the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and by the time you're 40, you'll have about $2 million put away. Your family will be happy, and then if you want to get back and play poker, start playing poker. You'll still be a kid. 40, you're a kid.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I needed to hear, to be honest with you.
I mean, what the fuck, dude? Don't make the mistakes I made, dude. Like I should have been married with kids a long time ago. And what did I do? I put poker in front of everything. And fucking I was really rich and I wanted to be the man. And I went to all the clubs in Vegas. And I was the king of Vegas from 2000 to 2003. And big deal. Like, where did that get me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you need to, I'm serious. It's like I'm telling you right now, you should fucking just, at worst, take the next year off of poker and focus on your business. And fucking, if you put the time into your business that you put into poker, your business will probably be making 3x what it's making now.
True.
I mean,
True. Like during COVID brought me back to poker. Like I quit for years and I was focusing on family business, and COVID, I had nothing to do, and I was playing 1, 2, and 2, 4. I made like $100,000 that year playing those stakes, and it got me back into it. And it's just, I've done this since I was literally 12, 13 years old playing online. So it's been a passion of mine.
Well,
but
I think another reason why you're tilting, because I know this, because you're neglecting the business, and you have a family, and you have kids to feed, and you're losing, and you're putting all this pressure on yourself, and you're playing bad. It's just like I talked to this guy that plays on our game, right? And I just reached out to him. Hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, I'm doing terrible. I've lost $1.2 million in the last, 2 weeks, right? I said, yeah. So I said, yeah, I heard you're a real sports degen. He goes, you don't even understand it, Mike. It's consumed my life, right? And I'm like, no shit, dude. I do understand, because I used to bet 5 to 20,000 a game, every game on the fucking board for fucking 49 years of my life. Yes, I understand. He goes, I can't quit. It's impossible to quit. How did you quit? I said, how bad do you feel about all the money you lost? He goes, I can't breathe. I go, well, keep thinking. Don't think about when you've won in sports. Think about how you feel right now, and keep telling yourself how you feel. That's how I quit. When I got broke, I've said this on the show many times. What did I do? What have I told you? When I had to eat at McDonald's and Taco Bell for a year straight. When my parents told me, were helping me out with bills, and they said, we don't help you out so you could go eat sushi. That's when that day came up. That was the day I knew I had to fucking go work hard and go and not depend upon them.
That's a humbling experience.
Dude, I've been humbled, dude. You get humbled, and again, like the old Mike just snap calls that 22,000, right? I just wanted to just put the timer on for a second, just to double check in my mind before, when you're calling off a 20K bet, you want to make sure you have that.
Yeah, think of possible combos and shit that he could have.
Well, yeah, I just want to take the time, and so, but the old Mike would have just snap called, and listen, when I start playing, when I start putting in more hours, like this next week, 2 weeks, there won't be that problem, okay? The fact that I haven't really played full-time on the app since January, it's going to... Listen, when I first get back into the app, the first week or two, especially the first 3 or 4 days that I play on the app, I've known to get buried because I end up calling off too much, okay? And so I've learned from my mistakes that when you come back and you haven't played in a long time, play on the side of caution until you get your feel back. You see what I'm saying? And so
yeah, I feel it.
And so when somebody moves in for 20 grand, I leaned on the side of caution. That's all. And then there was another hand that during the week that I played, and they laughed at me for it. But in hindsight, yeah, I missed a bet, okay? But it was during a bomb pot, okay? So it was a bomb pot, and the flop came down, Queen 4-8 with 2 spades, and the one guy leads out for 400. I probably should have just raised it because it's a bomb pot, right? But in a bomb pot, when you raise it, you almost always have 2 pair, right? It's not like it's a regular pot, right? So I decided to call. So I decided to call about half pot bet, and then
is this PLO or Hold'em?
Hold'em.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
And then the other guy at a small blind overcalls the half pot bet. Now the turn card comes the 3 of spades. Now the first guy who overcalled, he leads out for a little over half pot. The other guy calls, and I call. Now I should have raised a flop. I know that. I fucked this up here, but that's okay. And now the river comes a blank, and they check to me. I've got to bet the set of fours, right? I mean, I just do. But it's like, the thing was in my mind is, they know I'm a tight player, right? So he bets flop, I call, overcall. He leads, call, I overcall. Like, what am I overcalling with on a 3-spade board? You see what I'm trying to say? So now,
yeah, I agree.
They check to me on the river. It turns out the one guy turned eights and called with an 8, with 8-3 and turned 8s and 3s. The other guy had king queen, right? And he says if I would have bet on the river, he'd have snapped me, whatever. And maybe I missed a bet, right? And they laughed at me for checking this hand back, but my hands kind of face up when I have more than one pair in a bomb pot when I call when the spade hits. You know what I'm saying? I overcall when the spade hits. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm not so sure I'm getting paid there. Again, then there was another hand.
You could say he's snapping there all he wants. What he actually would do is a total different story, I would imagine.
Yeah. Now there's another hand that they made fun of me for yesterday, and this one I really rightfully think they should make fun of me for. I think I definitely played this really bad. Was I had pocket queens, and I make it 200 under the gun. It's a full 8-handed game. We get one caller, and then the small blind makes it 1,500. Or two callers, small blind makes it 1,500. Right?
This isn't the 20-40 game or the
15, 30, 60 game.
What did you open to?
200.
Okay.
And he makes it 1,500. Now, normally I 4-bet here, but I just... By the way, this is the same guy that bluffed me. Oh, he didn't.
How deep are both you guys in this spot?
I was, I don't know, like 20,000. And so... And
is that effective? Does he have you covered in that spot?
Yeah, he has me covered.
Shallow?
He has me covered.
Okay.
Right? Now, I shouldn't say the guy who bluffed me because the app fucking killed my hand. But... So he makes it 1,500, and the game was playing at the time pretty darn tight, except for one guy who was tilting, right? And so I didn't want to make it 4,500 and then have to fold to a 5-bet. I just called the 1,500, which is fine.
My last question, not to interrupt you, is this 6 max, 8 max, 9?
No, it's a full game. It's 8-handed.
Okay.
And so I just call the 1,500. The flop comes ace, jack, 5. Now he bets like a third pot, 1,200. I call. Now the turn card comes a 5, and he checks. And I check. Right? And the river...
He reopened out of the small blind then, if he's first to act?
Yeah, he 3-bet out of the small blind. That's why I gave him pretty credit for a pretty big hand. And I checked. And now the river he checks, I'm supposed to bet. But he's not calling anyways, right? He had pocket tens. Right? And they're like, that's the worst played hand I've ever seen.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
They could say that all they fucking want. Like, what are you trying to get called from there? Maybe
exactly.
A Jack X. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I called the fucking 1,500 re-raise and called the fucking 1,200 on the flop, and they know I'm one of the tighter players in the game. You know? I mean, I'm never getting called. The only reason why I told myself to bet the river was so they didn't see that I flatted 2 queens. I don't want them to see that. You see what I'm saying?
That's true. I could understand that, but
that's the only reason why
I missed a bet in that spot, I think, is ridiculous because the only candidate that he could possibly have in that spot that's not beating you is like a Jack 10 suited or some shit that he chose to 3-bet instead of flat out of position, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, but they're making fun of me why they have this other new guy in the game limping ace king every hand, limping ace jack suited, limping ace queen suited, but because I don't 4-bet 2 queens, there was the day before I got the day before when I got stacked, I had what's it called? I raised to 140. The next guy called 140, and the guy on the button makes it 800. And the guy on the button was winning a lot. And his small sizing to 800, I swear to God, I said this motherfucker has aces. I had queens, by the way. And I was only 6,600 deep. Right? And then I wish this guy didn't call. Once a guy calls 800, there's I just have to fucking jam. You know what I'm saying? Or fold. And but my gut told me he had aces or kings. I can't tell you. You know me. I'm a field player. And I
get it.
My gut told me
queens
this.
And
I'm like, and I jam and he had aces. I lose like 6,600 in the pot. I'm like, man, my gut told me to fucking that he had it. And you're like, oh yeah, you're just gonna fold queens with a 6K stack. But see, they don't understand that I see things and feel things. When a guy's winning, like I watched the way all the players bet their hand, like the speed of their bet, the sizing of their bet. Like I just have good intuition. So, and so when he made it 1,500, I'm like, well, this game's playing. I'm like, I really thought there was a good chance he had ace king, right? But I could call the 1,200 on the flop, and then he just shuts down if he doesn't. If he double barrels, he has an ace. He has it. You know what I'm saying? And so when I didn't want to, like, these guys don't fold ace king in our game. So if he has ace king and I make it 4,500 and he jams, I'm flipping for 20-something thousand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a tough spot getting 5-bet there, 20K deep.
Yeah, well, they put in 30,000 in our game with ace king, every single person. They put 30,000 in with jacks in our game. So.
And this is the same spot you considered folding the queens at 100 big blinds deep?
It was 10, 20, 40 that day. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Just my intuition.
I gotcha. I don't know if I look at the game wrong. Just personally, I think like folding. 125, 130 bigs.
The only reason, listen, when the two guys called 800, I mean, I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Like you have to jam. Like you jam or fold. I can't just call 800 now. You know.
I agree. I don't know personally. Like I don't know statistically if it's going to cost you more money in the long run folding queens, being that shallow in that spot,
right? Or
if you'll actually be profitable by doing that.
It's not about that. It's about my I feel things. I see things. I can't explain to you. It's kind of like all the shit I've said on the podcast the last 4 years. You know, you do your homework, you feel things, you see things. I'm very fortunate that I have a great intuition. I never followed it with women that I met. That's been my problem my whole life. You know, like I've never ever followed it with women that I met. If I ever followed my intuition with that, I'd be fine. But like your gut tells you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when everybody brought up the Jack forehand. What is your gut? Like Sean Deep said to me, "What does your gut tell you, Mike?" And I said, "She did it." He goes, "There you go. You're a poker player. Of course she did it." Right?
Yeah, you don't gotta have good fucking intuition to tell you that in that situation, though.
You know, it was funny. Somebody asked, like, I'm just starting to learn mixed games. Who can I learn mixed games? And somebody wrote, "Talk to Mike Matiso." She goes, "Anybody but him." And I started laughing. It's like, dude, listen, I have nothing against her. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way that I just don't believe it. Okay.
All right, so I didn't know much about her when it first came out. I have some friends that follow the circuit, playing like the WSOP circuit, travel, playing tournaments, and play cash games. And one of my friends was at the Bike or the Commerce, whatever, a few years ago in LA, and said she was playing like 1-2. They had some drinks or whatever, and ended up taking her upstairs and screwing her. Mm-hmm. But to make a long story short, is how she went from playing 1-2 to playing in that game.
And all the lies. Think about the lies. Oh, I got all this money. Blah blah blah. Just all the lies. There were so many. The wouldn't not just did it for me, because she texted wouldn't not And then she said that she showed the text from the guy who worked at HCL, and he texted wouldn't not. And it was her texting the whole time. So anyway.
I understand that. That's another one to it. But this is the biggest thing for me. Like, we all live in the fucking real world and work and, have bills and overhead. Who the fuck is handing over $150,000 to someone because they said boo to you? You'd have to put a fucking 12 gauge.
Well, how about the guy that by the way, he was the only one that saw the cards, by the way, that took the $15,000 off the stack. I mean, he wanted his cut no matter what. He wanted his 10%.
It's fucking obvious, exactly. It's
and
so
listen,
fucking obvious.
me and Garrett, we always got along, but we really weren't friends, And I've actually become more friendly with him now, and we've talked, and he says, Mike, I'm 1,000 times more sure now of guilt than I was then, and I believe him. All right, let me see if I take another call.
Yeah, go ahead. Good talking to you, man.
Good talking to you. And no, stick with, dude. I'm telling you, man, dude. If just like when I had all the money, dude, if I would have just invested it instead of just playing higher and higher and gambling on sports, I'd have $100 million. Just like, dude, poker. There's no money in poker nowadays, dude.
Exactly.
There just isn't, dude. It's not real money. There just isn't. What do you think all these quote unquote superstars are trying to teach poker? I watched Chris Brewer put out on Twitter yesterday. Anybody want lessons? I charge $1,000 an hour for lessons, or $3,000 for 5 hours. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, like this guy's
that
playing.
Tells you a lot right there.
Like if you're playing all these super high rollers, what are you playing for? Like 2%? Like if these guys are winning all this money, why are they out? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's just like.
I get it for sure. Hey, I want to ask you a real quick question before you get off. So I have a backer. I'm in like nothing crazy, like 8 to 10K makeup at the moment. If I quit, am I obligated to all of that or half of it?
If you quit in makeup, half.
Half, okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, you could be a scumbag and stiff the guy. I've never done that. Like, I have one guy that I made like $3.6 million for, and we were never in for more than $60,000 in makeup. Then we got $200,000 in makeup, and he cut me off, and he said, "You don't have to pay back to me." And I felt bad because I've never backed out on anybody when I was in makeup. I'd been $1 million in makeup before, and I worked even harder when I was farther in makeup. LSU just took the lead. All right, man. No, stick to, dude. I'm telling you, don't stick to what I said, dude. Put your fucking time into your business, dude, and your family.
We'll do, man. Hopefully next time we talk, things will be better.
Yeah, you can still hit me up every week. Talk to you later. Peace.
See you, bye.
All right. Yeah, it's already out. It's called the We Win Sports Podcast, Michael. You didn't put the link up.
I did.
Oh, you did?
My dude.
Yay, welcome to Mouthpiece. What's up, bud?
What it do, man?
Well, not much. What are you up to?
Just had a poker question.
Sure.
What would you say would be the 3 things that has made Phil Hellmuth 18 bracelets?
Well, he's got 17.
17? Oh, it's 18.
Phil's a really good tournament poker player. He's got great patience. He understands that you could blind down to one big bet in limit. I mean, Daniel had less than a big bet left in the 50K and came back and won. Okay, he understands that, and this is, and I am going to do this next year. I've said this for 2 years in a row. I was going to do it, but for sure I'm going to do it next year. Is he understands the value of late reg. When you could late reg a limit event and buy in on day 2 with 7.5 big bets. 7.5 big bets is basically 2 hands to the river and limit. On day 2, when you're up to 3 and 6, when you're playing high, really high, almost every hand is head up. Instead of when you first start playing, you get 3-4-way action. Yeah, you could win big pots, but those you could lose big pots, and those limits are worthless. Like when you're playing 1 in 2,000, you have 30 big bets, right? But you lose 3 jam 5-bet pots because you got a bunch of lunatics at the table, and you're crippled. So like, he understands the value of late reg, okay? Jesse Leonis, who's been crushing the high stakes scene, just came out on the scene recently. He maxed late regs every one of them, right? And he understands. There's a when you buy in on day 2 of the 50K buy-in with 15 big blinds, right? It's like, and you know, and you have some patience, and you know how to move your chips around. Like, it's easy to go from 15 to 30 big blinds. You know what I'm saying? And now when you're sitting on 30 big blinds, with hour-long levels, you just patience, you know, and you pick your spots, and you know. So what does it matter if the guy the day before finished the day with 100 big blinds or 150 big blinds? He loses the first hand, and you win the first 2 hands. You got the same amount of chips as him. You play 1 day less. So he understands the value of late reg. The problem, like, the thing with Phil is, like, like when he final tabled 7 final tables at 7 different events in 2021, you know, I spent a lot of time teaching him the mixed games. But when it comes to no limit, I know there's 2 things that he's doing very wrong. And he won't listen. He's like, I know more than you, no limit. I got 17. All these no limit bracelets, blah, blah, blah. But if he listened to me on just those 2 things, maybe 3, he would be a no limit. He'd be great. He can be great at no limit again.
Because I'm good at no limit hold'em.
Because he's got great instincts, great reading abilities, but like he goes too much with his reading abilities. I don't want to say what happened recently, but he was filming high stakes poker. I'll just say that he paid off a hand pretty badly and said, well, I saw him do something that threw me off, right? And listen, I've had this fuck me many times, you know, and so I got no problem with that, you know, but I also know that he, when it comes to deep stack cash, there's things he just doesn't get for some reason, and I could fix that for him fast, and but he will never let me. So, but when it comes to playing 30 big blinds or less, you know, he knows he'll blind down. He never gives up. He knows what to fold, you know. When you get down to 7 big blinds in super turbos, every one of these people just jam the 5s under the gun, right? Like me and Phil just fold the 5s under a gun. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get called, you're going to be flipping, and you're in with 7. You know what I'm saying? And so I'd rather fold the 5s under the gun for 7 big blinds and ship any 2 cards on the button. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just, listen, me and Phil think of tournament poker in a different way than other people think of it. We think is you got to, they're like, oh, you got to take every flip, right? Oh, okay, he jammed, he doesn't have, he could have, you know, they were all being taught that, oh, you have 20 bigs, you're in the big blind, you just jam the jack queen suited into the guy who's got 7 bigs in the fucking big blind. Yeah, I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Phil doesn't believe that either. you know. So,
if you're gonna fold fives in that spot, what would you go in with? That's like, I don't know.
If I
how
have
to
like
say it,
five
the
big, if I have like 5 big blinds, I don't know, Jack 10 suited, 8, 9 suited. You know,
okay.
I just don't want small pairs. I don't want small pairs. I don't want 7s, 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, or 2s. Like 8s is my cutoff. Some people say 7s are the cutoff. You know.
Who was that girl you were talking about with the last guy who called?
Oh, we were talking about the Robbie and the Jack 4 hand. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So that's just.
I know you said you're gonna be. I know you say you're gonna be playing a lot of poker. So is that the win that you're gonna be playing?
No, I'm just gonna start playing. I'm just gonna be playing on the app a lot. Like I took a lot of time off. I took a lot of time off, and I just got on some new medication. I've been taking Vyvanse for 2 days in a row, and And so far, like 2 days, I feel great focus and no side effects. And God, if I could just have if I could feel like this every day with no side effects, I'm gonna win a lot of money. You know what I mean? A lot.
Fuck yeah.
You know, I've been really struggling. When I got off the opioids, the Adderall really fucked me this year at the World Series. I didn't take it the first week and a half, and then when I took it, I couldn't sleep at all. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, all right, man. Good talking to you, and have a great weekend.
Right.
And I'll be back
Mike. Thank you.
next Friday or Saturday. All right, take care.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Bye. So we have one more. All right. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. What's going on?
Yeah, I was wondering if you're ever going to be streaming tournaments like you did back a few years ago. I was watching live when you had that ace-9 and you got called by that king-10, went off of the final table for a bracelet.
Yeah.
I watched all those tournaments.
So I'm actually working on a poker deal with a company right now, and if that happens here, you guys will be the first to know, and if I do, I'll be streaming a lot from that. So that I forgot to bring that up for some reason. But,
that was fun to watch. I remember I watched that whole thing. It was like 6 hours long. I left and came back home, and you were still playing, and then there was like 2 tables left, and he called you a king-10. That was you wanted him to call you with that though. At that point,
yeah. I
right?
mean, listen, people don't like I play a little bit. Listen, the bottom line is tight is right, bro. Like, don't let anybody talk to you and tell you that you have to VPIP a certain amount, or like what you see on these streams. Like, that's not real. Okay, it's like the best players in the world play super tight. You know, like one of the guys who's considered the best player in the world plays in a game that I know, and people tell me he's shouldn't even be in the game. He's by far the tightest player, and he's the best player, right? And then one of the guys who I know said, "Why don't you play more hands? You win every day, and you're the best player." And he says, "Why should I?" You know, and so, you know, it's like the best players play tight, real tight pre-flop, and they will use certain flops against what they think the other player doesn't have to steal pots. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they play really well post-flop, and that's the thing. So to get them to get those people that study the solvers and the GTO how do you get them out of their comfort zone? You figure out what they know, and you play opposite of that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'd like to play with like I would like to play with all the GTO players every day. I don't know.
So is there a reason you don't stream any of your tournaments anymore? Or
well, because when I
online
when I was sitting for long periods in the chair that I had, I got a new chair now.
Yeah.
I was in debilitating pain. Like I couldn't sit in the chair for 3 hours. It was brutal. So, now that I got this new chair, which is pretty comfortable, if I'm not in pain, I'll definitely stream. So, but I'll be making an announcement on this poker deal that I might be dealing with here.
All right.
Very shortly.
Thanks. I'd like to watch that. Thanks.
You got it.
It was entertaining. I like to see it.
All righty. Well, have a great weekend, and thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Bye. All right. 702-329-0480. It's good that we were able to talk a lot of poker this week. Didn't really surprise we didn't get more people calling talk about some NFL, which is good. Trying to stay away from the fucking poison that is politics, because it's going to get nastier and nastier and nastier, and the next 2 months is going to be the nastiest shit you're ever going to see. You're going to see there's going to be crazy shit happen. Like crazy shit. Like they're sentencing Trump on September 18th. I mean, that's pretty crazy in itself. They will not put him in jail, because they put him in jail, get hands on the election. That's for sure. So it's going to be interesting what they're going to play it up. They're going to make him out to be this horrible criminal and whatever, and then they're going to the Democrats and the media lackeys will repeat all the talking points that the judge puts out, and they'll use that to try and take him down. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I never thought that Nicole Shanahan would be the beacon of politics, but the shit she's put out there is absolutely unbelievable. The shit she's put out there. I mean, I don't know if you guys should follow like that video on Trump derangement syndrome was unbelievable. The Bobby Kennedy and JFK video was unbelievable. The courts have ruled that he's a criminal. The courts ruled that I fucking sold drugs and I was a criminal too, and I did 6 months in jail, which I never did. So what do the courts mean? Okay? They could put anybody, like the one guy said, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Anybody in this chat, they could arrest. Okay? If they want you. And that's why, with the Democrats censoring and lawfare against their political opponents, they've gone after Elon, they've gone after RFK, they've gone after Trump. Okay, what they're doing in Brazil, what they're doing in UK, what they're doing in France. This is the reason why you have to vote for Trump. You don't have to like him. I don't like him. Yeah. Everything that they say they stand for, they're against. And that's just it. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence. Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Yeah. Yep, Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. They $454 million for defrauding New York State because Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. That's what they said. These people I told you he was never going to go to any of these trials. I told you they were all fucking political bullshit. Right? You guys are like, he's going to jail. He's going to jail. I'm like, okay, who wants to bet he's not going to jail? Anyways, I don't really want to talk about politics. We have 2 months to argue politics. Right now, yeah, $18 million just for the pool area. I agree. I do understand the case. It was a case that was a state case, not a federal case. That was tried as a federal case in a state court. that the statute of limitations had ran up, but they passed a law to bring it back. I know everything. You think I'm stupid? Well, up to the Mouthpieces, Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's going on? This is Derek from Frisco.
Hey, buddy, how are you, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I just was thinking, I remember on one of your previous podcasts, you told one of the callers that you could teach them how to make like 10 or 15,000 a month playing I guess low stakes games.
Yeah, I could teach a blind person how to make 10,000 a month playing like 1-3 and 2-5. 2-5.
So 2-5, yeah. So basically, is it just mean like going every day and grinding out like $500 a day?
Yeah, I mean in 2-5, I mean you should be able to make. You should be able to make easy 500 a day. I would think. That's what 15,000 a month. But you'll have days you win 3,000. You know, but you gotta. You know, you probably in 2-5, you should probably buy in for 500. And if you lose 2 buy-ins, you just quit. You know, and I mean, just I don't know. If you play in Texas, 2-5, and you can't make 10,000 a month, you are either blind, dumb, deaf, or stupid, because the games there are so good. I mean, I have 2 friends that are playing down there, and they make between 8,000 and 15,000 a month, and like there's one of my friend's skill level is probably about a 7 out of 10, and it's like they just play ABC, and they make like 10,000 a month. So I mean, 10,000 a month cash in the real world, that's a lot of fucking money, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah, because what I've been doing is just going to my local Lucky Chances casino up, up in near San Francisco.
First time I was there, I finished, what did I finish? That was I think that was the second WPT they ever had, or it might even been the first. Phil got 4th. Antonio got 2nd. I got like 9th or 8th. I remember that. I was because I'll never forget, because I was watching the Atlanta-Pittsburgh football game that tied at 31-31 with Michael Vick. It was back in 2002. Go. Anyways, yeah. What do you play there? 1-3, 2-5?
They have a 3-5. It's 3-5-10 actually.
Oh, 3-5-10.
With a $10 kill.
So you buy in for 1,000?
Well, I've been buying in for 500, but I'm thinking maybe 1,000 might be better.
Yeah, you got to buy. You got to buy in for like whatever. You got to buy in 100 of the third big blind. You know.
Okay. So buy in for 1,000 and basically just try and double it, right?
Yeah, well, you just keep playing. If you're winning and playing good, you just keep playing. You know, right. If you're losing, and quit. See, that's the thing. Like I have a friend that, like even last night, he was up 23,000. He quit. He quits 20,000, 15, 18, 15. Then he loses 200 when he's stuck. You know, and the thing is, when you're winning, is when people and you're playing good and you're running good. That's when you could bluff a lot more, because people think you always have it, and you could really do damage. When you're losing, people think you're losing every pot, and you can't bluff, and you can't press it. So like when you're winning, you always want to stay until you're tired or the game sucks. If the game gets bad, you quit. If you get tired, you quit. If you're playing well and the game's good, you stay. You try and stay as long as you can when the game's good and you're playing good. And when the game's bad or you're running bad, you want to call it a night and lose 2 buy-ins. That's it. And if you just stick to that and never lose more than 2 buy-ins in a single day, and when you're winning, you'll win 4 or 5. There'll be days you'll win 5,000. You know what I mean? I think that
right.
I think you should have I mean, if you're playing a 2-5-10, I think you should have a 20,000 bankroll, and you could play comfortably. You know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and you won't have, and as long as you don't lose more than 2 buy-ins a day, you'll win. You'll win. There's no way you won't. And when you're winning, there'll be days you'll win 5, 6, 7, 8 buy-ins. You know what I mean? And if you get up,
because so far I've played 4 sessions and I've won 3 out of 4. So
yeah, and like I said, you don't put a cap on your win. You put a cap on your loss. And the problem with poker players is they put a cap on their wins and they stay forever when they're losing. And it's the opposite. Now, it took me till 2008 to figure that out. So for the first 10 years of my poker career, you know, I would stay for 3 days straight sometimes. I hated losing, you know. So just the way it is.
Right. So if I play, say, in 10 sessions, how many of them should I be winning? Should be winning sessions, would you say?
I mean, you could run bad. I mean, I think that if I mean, you're talking about somebody that's had 6. Oh my God. You're talking about somebody who has 6. I've had 6 losing weeks since 2019. So, you know, but I'm also a really top poker player. And I, you know, I play I played in a really good game for a long time. But and I ran better. I ran pretty darn good too. So, but you should. I mean, you could go 10 sessions and win 5, lose 5. It's possible. You know, I mean, I've had times where I've had break even months or win a little bit, or you know what I mean. But
yeah, I mean, obviously you can't expect to win every session you play, but
no, but you if you're playing the way correctly, okay, correctly meaning knowing the boards to bet, knowing when they have a big hand, when to overbet, right, to get called,
right,
knowing when the flop doesn't favor you and it favors other people when you have aces and it comes 7, 8, 9 and you just lose fucking $30. You know what I'm saying? You got to look past your hand. It's all about, you know, board texture and player and what kind of and player dependent and the habits that players get into. See what I'm saying? And those are the things you need to always adjust. You know, as long as you're over betting your bluffs and over betting when you have it, when you know they have a big hand, that's what you have to do. Kind of like the hand when I stacked you, when I over bet against you because I knew you had a big hand.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when you know somebody's got a big hand and you've got the goods, you
should just jam on the river.
When most people bet a pot or 3/4 of a pot, right, and you go 3x pot because you know they have a big hand. You know, those are the things that you get with experience, and so, you know, those are the things you just need to really work on. You know, just work on that and just keep trying to get better. But whatever you do, don't lose more than 2 buy-ins in a session, okay? Because when it's not your day, it's not your day. It just isn't. Like you could lose. I mean, I could lose 3 buy-ins, you know, but I try not to lose. If I buy in now for 12,000, like the most I'm losing is 36,000. You know what I'm saying? 3 buy-ins. So,
right.
But that's you know. But for somebody like you, I say, you know, if you never lose more than 2 buy-ins in a session, and you play good and you play solid, you'll just make money. You just will. You know, you just will.
Right.
So.
Well, I appreciate it, Mike.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you again.
And glad you're doing good. And I hope that new book that you were working on, I hope eventually is still going to be coming out.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, it will. All right, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Have
All
a
right.
good one.
Have a great night, Mike.
All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Well, today is Sunday. I'm going to be back Friday night or Saturday. I'm not sure yet. Probably Friday night because Saturday there's college football. A lot of people are watching football. And we're going to give our pick of the week and our second best pick of the week and see how the year goes this year. Hopefully it does as good as it did last year. And check out our podcast, the We Win Sports Podcast. It's kind of funny. Of course, I'm the man. And that's all. Don't let politics fucking consume you guys. Just enjoy life. I'll see you guys next week on The Mouthpiece.
The Mouthpiece.